Chair recognizes Councilwoman Gym.
Thank you very much, Council President. One of the most exciting things about coming into this council is being part of a body that has worked tirelessly to lift the floor for Philadelphia's most neediest residents. That most especially includes some of our workers and in particular emphasizes the value of what it means to support labor in this city. We support labor, we support the rights of working people, and we also recognize that those things are not in conflict with good business, that smart business practices and taking care of your employees go hand in hand, and many businesses in this city already do that and support it. And that's why I wanted to express my gratitude to the Committee on Law and Government, which this week reported out favorably the Fair Workweek legislation. Over 600 people came into City Council, into City Hall that Tuesday afternoon to say that they stood for this bill. That's quite a cross-section of the city of Philadelphia. I'm very grateful to all those folks who stood up, and to my 8 colleagues who are sponsors, to the members of the committee, and especially Committee Chairman Bill Greenlee, who has championed labor rights for working people in Philadelphia throughout his tenure. But I expect that many of you on this council are going to get quite a few calls in the coming weeks. And I want my fellow colleagues to know that my door is open, and that we have put in a lot of time into this bill. The push for a fair work week began over a year ago when dozens of organizations came together to form a Fair Work Week coalition driven by the real stories of working Philadelphians. We heard from families about the ways our unstable schedules hurt them, their families and their children, working moms who incur childcare costs or lose childcare subsidies because their shifts and paychecks change so drastically from week to week. I heard from a college student who had to choose between staying in school or working at the job that paid for that school, and he dropped out. I heard from families who can't predict their rent or put food on the table because they don't know how many hours they'll work that week or because their shifts get cut. But we've also heard from businesses. I've met with over 80 businesses, we've held business labor roundtables, and we have changed and edited and evolved this bill into its current state. The bill that you will see and that we'll debate over the coming weeks has 61 substantive and technical amendments to the bill. They reflect a significant level of engagement from businesses which have not only been heard, they've been at the table. And the dozens of amendments that the committee accepted reflect the sincere respect, engagement, and collaboration that our office has demonstrated from the start. It's important for folks to recognize this bill only applies to hourly workers who make below $24,000 a year. They cannot go above the federal overtime limit. These are our lowest wage workers. And in a country in which, or in our own city, where we have the lowest unemployment rate and poverty has ingrained itself, it is important to remember that incomes for the top 20% in Philadelphia are up 13%, and for the top 1%, they've increased by over 32% since 2010. We celebrate that. But at the same time, incomes for the bottom 60% are the same or have lowered since 2007. While I cannot, and this body cannot, lift the minimum wage for those workers in this city, the next best thing we can do is provide stable schedules that are predictable and sensible both for business and those workers through the Fair Workweek legislation. Those workers deserve it. They're asking for it. They have come to us with their stories, and I'm hoping that we can hear them. And as I said, all of this on City Council have been in circumstances where we can't please everybody with a piece of legislation. It's just not going to meet everybody's needs. I am committed to getting this legislation right, but I'm also committed to having this council body raise the floor for workers who deserve so much more than they are getting from the wealthiest and most successful and largest businesses in the nation. This only applies to large businesses, 250 employees, 30 locations or more nationally. They can subsidize and profit across locations. These workers rely on their jobs day to day. So I look forward to the conversation. My door is open to all my colleagues, and please feel free to reach out. Thank you very much, Council President.